Hi, I'm Sarah with TriMech from our Columbia, Maryland office, and in this video I'm going to be creating an ergonomic handhold for our circular saw project on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. I'll use two different cloud-based design apps to accomplish this. I'll start off in X-Shape using subdivision modeling to create sort of an organic hand grip body. Then I'll move into XDesign where I'll use sketch-based parametric features to add some finishing touches. I'll start off in the platform in the Collaborative Tasks app to let my teammates know that I'm going to get started on this work. Here I can view a list of my upcoming tasks and see the details associated with each one. I'll drag and drop this task into the In Work column to let my teammates know I'll start working on it. Here in the assembly, I'm going to create the new component for my hand grip. I'll place the origin of this new component onto the center of the face where I want the component to be placed. I have a hand-drawn sketch of what I want the side view of this component to look like. So I'm going to insert that picture into my modeling environment on the center plane, or what will become the center plane of this component. That way I can use it as a guide while I manipulate the subdivision model. I'll make sure that the image is to scale, and then I will move it into place. The first step in subdivision modeling is selecting a primitive shape. I've selected a cylinder, so I'll go ahead and place that on the origin and enter parameters for the number of subdivisions in each direction. And I'm going to opt for creased edges so that I get a traditional cylinder shape rather than a rounded cylinder. I'll do a quick 90-degree turn. And then I want to scale the entire subdivision body so that we get that elliptical shape that we could see from the guide image. I'll do a non-uniform scale by the bounding box, and along the X we'll have 50 millimeters, then 75 along the Y, 35 along the Z. That's going to give me that elliptical profile. I'll use a box select to highlight the entire body, and then using the move manipulator, I'll drag it into place and rotate with the arc. Before I manipulate the subdivision model any further, I want to apply symmetry down the center of the model across the ZX plane. This will ensure any changes that are applied to one side are automatically reflected across. So I'll highlight the vertices associated with that edge that is closer to us, and I'll shrink them down. Then, with those same vertices selected, I will drag them down and back. And this is the real magic of subdivision modeling in X-Shape, just sort of free form pushing and pulling to get these unique organic shapes, which would be otherwise pretty tedious to achieve with parametric modeling. I'll finish the subdivision feature, and since this is complete, I will actually switch over to XDesign, where I can add the finishing touches for the base and the stem. The first feature I'll add in XDesign is just going to be a simple extrude. I can actually use the face of an existing component as the profile for my extrude, so I don't have to make a new sketch. Then, on top of that new extrude, I'll use the top face as my sketching plane for the cross-section of our stem. The profile of the stem will be an ellipse, and I can drag the endpoints of the ellipse onto the edges of this face to fully define its shape. I'll set the end condition to up to next, just for a simple straight extrusion. But at this point, I'm evaluating the model, and I think that I would prefer to have a more curved, sweeping stem. I'm going to roll back to before the second extrude feature, and I'm going to insert a new sketch to use for our sweep path. I'll convert some existing entities off of the model into my active sketch, and then connect them with a spline. I'll add relations to the spline to control its shape and make sure we have a nice smooth transition. In order to use this as a path, I'll need to create a sweep feature. But rather than deleting our current extrude and adding in a new sweep feature, I can actually just edit the extrude feature. And up here at the top, I can change what type of feature it is. I'll change it to a sweep, and this will maintain relations downstream throughout the model. All I have to do is add in the path. So we can see the sweep feature blends a little nicer with the subdivision hand grip. I'll go ahead and hide some of these reference planes. And then I've sped up the process of me adding a few more design features, just some simple circular cuts and some fillets. And now the component is complete. I'll change the view style to shading with smooth edges hidden so that we can see the true smooth nature of that sub D model and the fillets that connect it to the stem. This looks pretty great, so I'll go ahead and save my finished product for the rest of my team to have access to it. And lastly, I'll head back over to my project tab and change my task from in work to completed. Now that the changes have been saved into our collaborative space on the platform, the rest of my team instantly has access to the most up-to-date assembly, as well as my new hand grip component. In the next couple of videos in this series, you'll get to take a closer look at some of the other X apps for designing on the 3D Experience platform, including X Sheet Metal, X Frame, and X Mold.